Man, I'm going at like Daytona 500 speed. We did 3 words yesterday, last time, however you're viewing this. Uh, Probably. Well, I'm gonna probably go another 3 words is all today. And yes, if you're thinking, hey, he was dressed that way last time, yeah. In about a month, Debbie and I are going to be gone for 2 weeks to one of our open door libraries. And while we're in that mode, it's going to be difficult. First of all, it may be difficult for me to have time and a private, quiet place to do this. And at various times during those 2 weeks, it's going to be hard for me to upload. So, anyway, I'm trying to get a little bit ahead so that there'll be something on those days when I'm not going to be able to put anything up. Okay, so that's why. And I don't know, probably another couple of times you're going to see this lovely on the psalm. We're in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 3. I thank God. I'm going to read the whole verse. I thank God, whom I serve as my ancestors did with a clear conscience, as night and day I constantly remember you in my prayers. I thank God, whom I serve. Bob Dylan, I don't like all of Bob Dylan's music, but there was one of his songs that I really do like. You got to be old to even know who Bob Dylan is, but if you are, maybe you remember this song. The title of the song is "You Got to Serve Somebody," and it's just a hoot. But the chorus is it's actually biblical. Now, there were rumors that Bob Dylan was a Christian and then that he converted to Judaism, and who knows? I don't know Bob. He's an old guy by now. I mean, real old, but he's not dead yet. I don't think. Anyway, whatever. But here's the chorus. It may be the devil or it may be the Lord, but you're going to have to serve somebody. Now that's those are words to live by. You are going to serve somebody. Here, just some thoughts. A lot of people that I know would well, I can't think of anybody that I know that would not cringe at the thought that they're serving the devil. They wouldn't. That would be, they just wouldn't, okay? And they'd be offended if it was suggested. I'm in that category. So we don't serve the devil. But see, Bob left out one category. It may be the devil or it may be the Lord. You're going to have to serve somebody. That's true. But there's this category in the middle. It may be you. I find this one of my most difficult struggles in all of life. I sometimes unintentionally realize eventually I'm just trying to serve me. Well, that looks a whole lot of different ways. Mostly it looks like this. I'm going to get what I want because what I want trumps the rest of the wants in my environment. It's me. It's all about me. And since I'm in the music mode, I'll go with this one. What I think is probably going to be at least one of, if not the national anthem of hell, is, remember old Blue Eyes singing, "I did it my way"? I mean, he basically, it's a song of self-worship. Nobody told me what to do. I did it my way. Well, if there is no God, if he has no design, if there is a God and he has no design, you run it back and realize, hey, the only way that works is if either there is a God and all he does is just, created the world, spun it in orbit, and it's like the watchmaker thing. You wound it up, toss it out there, and it's going to run till it quits running. But he doesn't get involved with it. Not biblical. Or there just isn't a God. So quit worrying about it and do it your way. Remember the old jingle from Burger King? Have it your way. Well, I have grown up from my teenage years, maybe, my last couple of years in high school onward, under the rubric or the idea that you do whatever you want to do. Just, if it's not hurting anybody else, don't worry about it. Just do it. Okay. There are a lot of problems with that. And if I shouldn't need to take time to catalog those difficulties. Look around. Our world in the West, it has been essentially built, or should I say, rebuilt upon the idea of I should get what I want. What I want is, it trumps, if you can do for me what I want, I'm in. I'm guilty of this. What I want is more important than just about at certain times in life, than anything else. Get me what I want. When that is the driver, when that's the catalyst in my life, well, it makes it virtually impossible for me to serve God. When I'm stuck in that mode, I won't have any time or resources left over for God. A lot of people think, here's the thing, get my needs met, and then let's look at what God says, okay? But until I feel my needs are being met, I'm not interested in what God says. There's just enough truth in that for it to seem right, but it's a lie. I remember one of the great blessings in my life was I got to serve with B.A. Austin at Highland Park Christian Church in Tulsa. He didn't often use object lessons, but on one particular occasion, he did. He brought a clear glass tumbler of water of course, this was a long time ago. We used pulpits and overhead transparencies. So that dates the whole thing. Anyway, he had this clear glass tumbler of water. And he just sat it down there and he talked for a little while. And then he took a sip of it and he said, wow, that tastes good. He set it back down. And then he kind of went, and he spat into the water. And his thing was, anybody want a drink? Well, no. No, but mostly it's pure, clean water. See, that's the deal. That's the illustration that if you can take a little bit of falseness and inject it into the truth, and all of a sudden the truth is, well, it could be toxic. I mean, how many drops of arsenic does it take to make that water, if not deadly, at least toxic? I don't know. I'm not a chemist, but all right. If you're going to serve God, you will have to be intentional. How do you serve God? That's a legitimate question. And some people, I don't know that they would say this is the way it is, but I think they have been maybe got the idea over time, religious people, church-going people, that the way you serve God is to be in the ministry. That's serving God. Or volunteering at church. And if you really want to be the rock star of serving God, you will volunteer with the junior high ministry, because it is easily the hardest ministry in the church. And so, serving God, you ought to get extra points for volunteering in the junior high ministry, right? Well, do you realize that if your vocation is, unless your vocation is morally wrong, I mean, there are some of those vocations, but you're not, I don't think you're doing that. But whatever your vocation, you can actually serve God as you do what your vocation calls for. And I think here's in my opinion, how that works. Jesus said the two greatest commandments are to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. If I am serving the needs of someone else, if I wanted to, that can be service to God. Now, there's a lot of reasons why people will do some kind of service toward meeting other people's needs. One of them is a profit motive. Is this evil? I don't think it's evil. I think some that are motivated only by profit. Now that's when you kind of you get over into this, that's not going to work area. But if I am serving the needs of people out of my love for God and my love for my neighbor, that's serving God. Whether you're a banker or a trash collector, a teacher, a professor, believe it or not, a lawyer, or whatever your career is or was, by your choice and intention, it can be serving God. Paul writes, I thank God whom I serve. There is this last aspect, and then I'll be done with these three words. Sometimes you accidentally serve God, but generally you serve God by intention. So here's my challenge. This probably goes in two directions. Number one is in your career, and if you're retired, in your retirement, you can intentionally serve God when you serve others. Okay. And the second one is one of the ways that you can do this is by participating in organized acts of service. A lot of people are wired for that, and it works well for them. If you're one of those people, figure out how you can get there. Okay, I'm done. See you next time on So Care with Stevie Boy.